Russia is changing the world, and the Biden administration and the bullies in Brussels are absolutely powerless to stop it. While the likes of Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence together celebrate another round of indictments against Trump, Vladimir Putin is busy recalibrating the geopolitics of Africa around Russia. Last week, Putin hosted the Russia-Africa Summit in St. Petersburg and shocked the world by announcing a comprehensive strategic partnership with the whole of the African continent, particularly in what's known as the Sahel region. Putin trumpeted the fact that Russia holds by far the largest share of the global wheat market. Russia produces nearly 100 million tons of grain a year, a full 20% of the wheat production on the planet. Putin then announced, to the astonishment of all the attendees, that Russia will be supplying 6 nations like Zimbabwe, Burkina Faso, Somalia, and Eritrea, with up to 50,000 tons of grain each in the next 3 to 4 months. And here's the kicker: absolutely free. Many analysts recognize that if President Putin follows through with this commitment, it would be a game changer in the ongoing geopolitical battle for influence and resources throughout the continent of Africa. Now, of course, Putin is making this deal on the heels of having officially exited what's called the Black Sea Grain Initiative. The initiative had served as a rare diplomatic compromise between Russia and Ukraine that allowed Ukraine to export millions of tons of wheat, corn, barley, and other crops despite Russia's blockade of its ports. Several days back, Putin put an end to that deal, with Russia's foreign ministry announcing that it could no longer guarantee the security of any Ukrainian ships through the Black Sea. Obviously, the end of the initiative has had major implications for global food prices, with the price of wheat shooting up over 5%, contributing to a surge in food prices worldwide. Now, while many believe that Putin's actions were retaliation for NATO's continued escalation in their efforts to get rid of Putin and inflict regime change in Russia, Putin, being the geopolitical chess master that he is, revealed at the Russia-Africa Summit precisely his game plan, his rationale for suspending that Black Sea agreement. With food prices soaring throughout the world, Putin announced to these African leaders that they are now officially exempt from that food inflation. Russia is officially granting at least 6 African nations, again, Zimbabwe, Mali, Somalia, Eritrea, upwards of 50,000 tons each per country of free grain. Moreover, Putin also announced that Russia would be forgiving billions of dollars of African debt. And he was forgiving that debt as a gesture of solidarity in their support for traditional moral values and their resistance against the insanity of the woke West. Putin reiterated Russia's commitment to strengthening its ties with African nations, highlighting Russia's consistent support for anti-imperialist and anti-colonial movements during the Soviet period. So to what end? Why is Putin doing this? Well, we're already seeing it, and it's going to absolutely blow you away.
I'll be back.
No, it's not he will be back, gang. He is back, gang. It is time to celebrate the great return by clicking on the link below and getting your very own Trumpinator 2024 bobblehead in preparation for Donald Trump's glorious reascendance to the United States presidency. This collectible bobblehead from Proud Patriots is made with the highest quality material and really is a must-have for any Trump fan who wants to send some energy towards what's shaping up to be the most glorious political comeback in history. Now, don't wait. There are just limited numbers of these collectibles, and you don't want to be caught paying way more later on eBay from someone who bought one right now. So whatever you do, don't wait. Click on that link below right now and show your support for Trump 2024 today. Last week, members of the Nigerian military staged a coup ousting their president Mohamed Bazoum. As of Friday, the military announced that General Abdulrahmani Chine was the official leader of the nation. On Sunday, a pro-coup crowd began surrounding and eventually storming the French embassy in their capital city. But what was so fascinating is that they were chanting pro-Russian slogans and flying Russian flags in protest. And they weren't alone. The leader of Burkina Faso, a nation that also went through a coup, referred to Russia as family to Africa. And when word got out that European leaders were considering sending troops to Niger to quell the coup and reinstate Bazoum, nations such as Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea, all nations in the Sahel region that's receiving that free wheat from Russia, declared their allegiance to the new regime in Niger, stating that an attack on Niger is an attack on them all. In the meantime, the French, who long colonized the region, are being humiliated as more and more of their citizens are evacuating the entire Sahel region. Are you seeing a pattern here? What Vladimir Putin is doing is he's tapping into a massive trend that's absolutely exploding throughout the African continent. A powerful populist movement known as Pan-Africanism, where more and more African leaders are calling for the expulsion of European political and cultural influences left behind from the colonial period. And they're seeking instead to cultivate a uniquely African civilizational world. So as you can see, it's an incredibly vibrant movement, and one that Western globalist elites are beginning to get very, very concerned about. They're frankly clueless about, especially in terms of the attraction of the movement towards the rising neo-Orthodox civilizational state of Russia. For Africans, Russia is seen as a model for how a nation can rebuild itself into what scholars call a civilization state, which is something that's catching the bullies in Brussels and the dolts in D.C. completely off guard. Russia is successfully expanding its influence based on linguistic and cultural criteria rather than international law or ethnicity. Russia's emphasis on traditional moral values and the centrality of religion in civic life, together with its resistance against Western colonialism, has made Russia a powerful ally for the rising re-traditionalism that's permeating the African continent. Africans are increasingly seeing themselves far more in solidarity with the traditionalist vision of the world coming out of Moscow than they are the absurd woke world coming out of D.C. and Brussels. And so, as our neocon and neoliberal leaders dither around their flying indictments and flailing oversight committees, a new world is being born right before our very eyes, a far more nationalist, populist, and traditionalist world that seems little bothered over leaving us behind. Hey gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you too have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.